But that salad bar is not gonna always be up. But what will be up is the pizza bar in the corner.
Candies, popcorn, nachos.
Then I'll eat like a bag of carrots and I'll be like, oh, I'm healthy.
Today we're discussing nutrition with college and graduate students. Let's get cooking. Raise your hand if you feel good about your diet. No takers? Raise your hand if you cooked a meal by yourself in the last week. Right? Raise your hand if you've eaten fast food in the last week. Raise your hand if most of your diet consists of processed foods.
For me, like my school, I've noticed like they try to offer new nutritional options with like salad bars and stuff, but that salad bar is not gonna always be up. But what will be up is the pizza bar in the corner.
When I was in the dorms, the healthy stuff, just like you were saying, is like it's only in a allotted amount of time. Like maybe the healthier options are only there for an hour. I'm not always hungry right at 7 p.m. I'll eat my breakfast at noon and then all of a sudden it's 10 p.m. and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten all day, and I'll eat like microwavable anything basically, and then I'll eat a pint of ice cream and I'll eat a bag of chips, and it'll just be like, but then I'll eat like a bag of carrots and I'll be like, oh, I'm healthy. Like real simple.
Doused in ranch.
Yeah, I had celery today.
Right.
With my buffalo wings. But the thing for me is that in my school, they have great options. Like there is no excuse. And so it's more about having the willpower and just the discipline to eat healthy.
My school also, they have bans on hot plates and other things that would make it easier for you to cook. So my friend who had a hot plate who would actually, make meals and provide meals for students, and she actually got it confiscated once because one of the teachers found out they were making meals for students, and I think it set off the fire alarm and they just snatched it. And I understand to a degree, because if you're not going to let us have hot plates and things in personal access to make our own food, then we should have some sort of kitchen or other access to things that would allow us to feed ourselves.
Is there one thing all students could do to improve their nutrition?
I think one thing is hard, but I would say that making sure that you're staying hydrated with water is really important. And also, I'm going to say getting in your fruits and your vegetables too, because I feel like most people lack those things.
When I got to school, being, a kid let loose with individuality and, living for yourself, I had a night where I could not decide if I wanted to eat ramen or if I wanted to eat, I think I want to say Hot Pockets or chicken or something. And so I was like, I'll just have both. I'll just make both. What's the harm in that?
Well, as a parent, I sent a rather slim kid off to college, came back a little chunky. So I knew, I was like, what are you eating? But then I can see all your transactions. I can see everything, and I'm like, DoorDash, DoorDash, DoorDash. And I'm like, dang, how much fast food can you eat?
So I had a completely different experience with the freshman 15. I was so terrified that I developed a pretty severe eating disorder and became anorexic, but no one really noticed because I would be eating little snacks throughout the day, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll have 2 cubes of cheese and a stalk of broccoli. And that was my meal for the day. And it was going downhill really fast, and eventually I bottomed out at a point where it was I either stop drinking or I start eating, and I chose to stop drinking.
Going into college is a very overwhelming experience, and it takes a big toll on your mental health, and I've noticed that when I'm stressed, I don't ever get the urge to eat. And the longer that I just don't listen to my urge, the less I get hungry, and then the longer I'm able to go without eating. And then it becomes a cycle where once I do eat, it's uncomfortable, or it doesn't feel good. And then I'm like, wow, I can't get into this cycle because I need to eat and I need to feel good eating. And so it's kind of like a back and forth that you go into, and it's scary for sure.
What happens to a student's body when you skip meals?
So when you skip meals, your body is not going to get all the nutrients that it needs. Your body is going to break down sugars into glucose so it can make energy for your body. So actually, people end up getting jittery a lot of times, and they have poor concentration because they're not getting enough energy for their bodies.
I did this extreme diet where for about 5 days, all I drank was hot water and lemon juice.
Yeah, cayenne pepper.
No cayenne pepper, just
didn't-
that, yeah.
When I was younger, I think I did like all the crazy diets. So we call it the lemonade diet. And so you would get like organic lemon juice, maple syrup, cayenne pepper, and you would drink this for 10 days. And it was supposed to detox all your organs and you lose weight. And the cayenne pepper was supposed to give you energy. And you were just insane for 10 days. But we did it because you were so, there's so much pressure to be thin.
Since high school, even early as junior high, I spent a lot of money on buying detox products. It's like 1,000-something at a time. So that pressure to look skinny was always there.
How would you say a student's diet can alter their performance in school or like mess with their like cognitive abilities?
If you're not getting the minerals and vitamins that you need, then your energy is low. And so if your energy is low, then your concentration is going to be low too, and that's going to affect your school performance.
Another thing that affects what you eat is time. Because you're like, oh, I need to cook something quick. And cooking quick is how quick? 5 minutes in the microwave, or cooking that meal from scratch. And so when you eat microwave food, it's full of sodium, it's full of carbs, and other unhealthy things. And so you're eating on the go.
The major that I do, like acting, we have rehearsals generally at dinner time, and then we won't really have a break until 10 p.m. So it's hard to find a consistency in meals, and I find that really hard because I get super hungry between them, and I just want to snack, and that's like my weakness is snacking between meals. And also, like, I work at a restaurant, so generally you're working during a meal time, so then you can't eat like a standard time meal, which screws with me a lot too.
So how can students eat well when time is short?
I actually think that involves planning ahead. So if you know your schedule over the next week, those are areas where you can sit there and say, okay, I need to plan out these meals during these times, and figuring out what types of foods that you could possibly buy in bulk that will help you along in your schedule for the week.
Growing up, I was a very, very busy kid. We were kind of always on the go, and so eating out was often the only option because it's like you're going from point A to point B, and that's the only choice. So I didn't always have a lot of home-cooked meals, and that's definitely reflected going into adulthood of like teaching myself how to cook. What types of meals do I put together? The first thing that always comes to my mind is chicken and pasta. And that's like all I can think of, and I'm like, what else is there? So it's definitely a journey trying to like get outside of my comfort zone, not just taking the easy way out.
So how important is variety in students' diet?
So variety is super important. You're not going to be able to get all of your minerals and nutrients that you need from one type of food. So having them spread through getting different proteins or complex carbs or fruits and vegetables is going to be really important from getting the different types of minerals and vitamins for your diet.
I'm one of these people like, what are you doing, Baby J? Let's ride. We're gonna go and eat out. We're the foodies. We the people that go to the movies and we got everything. Candies, popcorn, nachos. We got everything. So we're foodies, and so I know I eat out a lot. And it is expensive. Like I'm just like, wow, I spent all this money eating out. I don't care. So that's another thing too.
Thank you all for talking to me about nutrition today. Let's get some lunch. I'm Dr. Alana Biggers, and this has been a co-production between Healthline and Best Colleges. For more videos on these topics, click here.